Hi everyone and welcome back to the Adobe Live Show. This is day 3 of this episode with Josh about UX and UI design.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining. We see some familiar names. Eric is back. I see, Shonaling, good to see you. She will be live actually with us in a few weeks, maybe next week actually. Munir, Tom, okay, Voodooval, thanks for being in the chat. Daryl, yay. Hi everyone. So, if you missed the first episode, we will quickly recap what happened. And as always, during the Adobe Live Show, you can get a chance to win amazing stuff. This week, so let's recap. If you missed the previous episode, so we are live since Tuesday, okay, with Catherine Lowe in the morning. Now you can watch all the replays. Lauren, you can watch all the replays, but there is one left. Josh. So we are live for 2 hours. And you will get a chance to win moo.com gift cards. So Moo is our partner this week, and it's an amazing website for designers, especially if you want to create custom business cards with a high quality paper and ink. And you can really use a lot of print applications on moo.com. So to win a Moo gift card, just stay tuned. It will be in about 30 minutes. It's called Chat and Win, and we will explain how it works. And today we don't challenge you to create and share. Today we want you to share a link to your portfolio. Okay, so check the portfolio review tab on behance.net/live. Submit a link to your portfolio, especially if you are a UX UI designer. The idea is that Josh will give you live feedback on your work at the end of the show.
No pressure.
Okay. So maybe we can start with a quick introduction about yourself.
Sure.
And then recap, what happened during these 3 days.
Okay, sounds good. Hey everyone, my name is Josh Iwata, and I apologize if this is your 3rd day tuning in. You have to hear the recap a little bit. So let me launch this little slideshow. I started out in my career as an illustrator. Eventually I moved to web design, and then UI and UX design. And I also, at some point, was junior designer, lead designer, creative director, and then I helped start a product called Setmore. And you can check it out at setmore.com, and I was doing all the product design for that, and then eventually ran that as CEO. Left that about last year and joined a company called Classhero, where I'm the COO, and that brings us to what we're going to be working on today. So we're going to be working on the student app. So Classhero is a math system for the classroom. There's a teacher dashboard where she can assign lessons to the kids, and then there's a practice app where the kids can practice math on a daily basis. It's meant to be used like 10 minutes a day in the classroom. And real briefly, the redesign process that I'm using, because this is actually an existing app, it's something that I wanted to go over and do an audit for. So first you do the research as phase 1, research articles, competitors, inspiration, that kind of thing. Step 2 was a design audit, and we did that on day 1. And that was going over the existing app and all the pain points, what works, what doesn't, what to throw out, what to keep. And then we moved on to the wireframes, and that's about where we are right now. So day 2, we didn't quite get into the design mockups. We got into the wireframes, but today for sure we're going to get well into the mockups so you can see some color put on the page. And let me review that real quick, the actual audit. Oops, there's some assets we're going to be looking at. There we go.
Yeah, so that was the design audits on the first day that we did with our friends in the chat, trying to spot what can be improved, because this design also was made 4 years ago, and you joined the company in the meantime. So
yep.
Let's see what we can improve.
So these part of the audit process, I go and I take screenshots of everything, and then I'll mark it up with not a red pen, but a blue pen in this case. And I'll make comments about what needs to be improved. We did this live on day 1 with everyone giving us feedback on what they thought was good and what should be changed. So I went screen by screen. The basic app is there's a login page where kids can log in from school or from home.
And then it's a different login experience.
And then there's multiple login experiences where they have to log in with their class PIN or with a single sign-in application called Clever. Once they're logged in, they pick their profile, so you'd see the list of all the student names from a list. And then they're in, and this is the home screen of the app currently. And there was a number of things we talked about in terms of they have to choose a reward to start working on the lessons. So they have to pick which reward they would like to work towards. It's kind of a goal-oriented system. Once they pick their reward, they get to start working on their lessons. And so these are assigned by the teacher. These are lessons that whatever she's teaching in class that day, she assigns it to the kids. They can work on it, and then they choose the lesson and they can go in and start practicing it.
Awesome.
So that's the overview.
And before jumping to wireframes, so you designed the user flow.
That's right. And so based on that, we designed a user flow, and it goes over just exactly what we talked about. So the login page leads you to 2 login experiences, home and school. If you choose school, it takes you through Pin and Clever. You have to choose your name from a list. And then it takes you into the home page. And this was a section that was identified as a pain point, that the kids could not just go in and start practicing. They had to work on choosing their reward first. So the application, the flow, they'd try and go practice, and then it would block them, and it would dump them into rewards, and then they would have to choose their reward and then go back. And so we ended up streamlining this process to where we moved it to this. We combined the home page and that group of lessons into one page, so it's easier for them to just start working right away. And there were a few other improvements and dependencies that we can go over in more detail in the wireframe. I think that's a good recap.
It's a good recap, and then you started working on the wireframe.
Yeah.
With also some input from the chat.
Okay.
There we go.
So there we go.
So again, that's a wireframe. The goal is just to place element, like some design patterns on the screen.
Yeah.
Don't choose colors.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with wireframes, the goal here is purely structure. So that's why it's in grayscale. And
with a tint of blue.
With a tint, yeah, it's a
very
gray
classy.
blue. I find it's
classy. I like it.
I'll show you when you have no tint of blue. It feels very cold and harsh,
sad.
Right?
Yeah.
Sad, yeah. So I like to design with a tint of blue because I think it makes things feel, even though it's a cooler color, it makes things feel a little more inviting. Okay, so this was the school login, or sorry, the main login page. There's a school login button, a home login button, and that links us over to the school login. Now, we went through this exercise yesterday. If it's a school login, the teacher, if you haven't observed kids in a classroom, which we did a lot of this when we were designing this app, the teacher will give the kids a 5-digit passcode. That will get them into her class login, basically. So we needed an easy way for kids to be able to log in without having to mess with their keyboard, because the age range for this app is age 3 to 11.
Yeah, and at 3, you're not supposed to read, so you have to keep it simple.
I mean, you probably know how to use an iPad when you're 3 nowadays.
Oh yeah, I guess. But still, it's selecting a text input field, showing the keyboard, it's just a lot of user interactions just for 5 digits.
Right, yeah, and this is also designed for any type of device. So it could be a Chromebook, it could be a Windows machine, Apple, anything.
The browser.
The browser, yeah, and we have a lot of people who use it in the browser. So the easy solution was to put a keypad directly on here, no submit button. If they punch in their 5-digit code and it's correct, they get to just go through and they're logged in. If it's wrong, it turns red, or there's some sort of error that tells them they can't do it, right? That was the class pin. There's also a home login. Oops, I put a colored icon, that's a no-no in wireframes. There's a home login that was just a simple username and password.
Yeah, Andrea is saying that, no joke, my niece used my iPad better than I did when she was 3. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either. Yeah,
hey Nat, good to see you again.
Oh, hey Nat.
Thanks for coming back.
There's my twin brother in the chat.
Yeah.
So if you see a guy that looks like me making comments, it's my doppelganger Nat. So after...
And your cousin is here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and my cousin. It's a family affair. Or they're both artists, so maybe they could learn some design work also. So after they punch their class login, they move into choosing their name from a list. And we determined as a group, there were some suggestions that we should make it into a grid instead of a list. And I think that's kind of a fun way to display all the kids. We're gonna have some kind of illustrated avatars on here.
Okay.
And then it takes us into the practice screen. you're reading the chat.
Your mom is watching, but she doesn't have a Behance account. She can create one for free, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
she
watching, Josh and Nat's mom, create a Behance account.
Yeah.
It
And
takes 1
also,
minute.
if you're watching on YouTube Live, I would encourage you to go to behance.com/live, because then you can actually join in the conversation.
Yeah, that's the chat we're reading.
Yeah. Any of the chats from the YouTube Live page we don't actually see, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
We have mods directing people, but yeah, the place to be is behance.net/live.
yep. So this was the home screen, and let me show you. I need to close these so we stop looking at them.
Okay.
Let me close some of these. Well, that's like a sneak peek of where we're getting to. If you remember the home screen here, it looked like this, right?
Oh yeah, we were talking about this, like showing like a bedroom.
Yeah, so it's a bedroom scene.
It's
Which
not interactive.
it's not interactive. The kids want to click on, like, they get distracted. So that's one of the things, is kids get distracted easily. They want to click on this chair, this ball, all these things in this illustration, right? And they can't just start working on their lessons. They have to click the start button. They have to go in, choose their lesson, right? So we talked about combining those screens, and this was the result, right? So going from the top to bottom, upper left, kind of over to the right, and then down. We have the student's name, Tobias, their avatar, some sort of an image or picture of what they look like. Well, not their photo, but an illustration. How many minutes they've practiced in the app. And then we have the active lessons that they're working on right now.
Okay.
Shapes, numbers, colors. And then below, you're seeing what they've completed. So 6 lessons completed. It really lets them track, kind of their accomplishments, what they've done, which I think is important. And that's kind of a design pattern if you look at any video game that kids play. Whatever levels they've completed, they don't just disappear. They compound and they collect, right? So you can see all the progress you've made and all the levels you've beat. We're trying to do that same kind of gamification with daily lessons and skills that kids learn. And then we've got a representation of our little character, Drago, that will go here.
Yeah.
A back button to get out of the app, and then the reward that they're working on, we want to have visible all the time. So I have it down here in the lower right, and it says 3 days left, and it lets the kids know that 3 more days of practice, and they're going to earn that card. And I should mention those cards are printed, so those are actually physical printed cards. We send the teacher in this mailing pack. She gets them, and then as the kids earn these rewards, she hands them out. And Michael was saying there's a very similar card system in
France
when he was growing up.
Since the 20s, I think. Like it's a very old system.
Is it still being used?
Yeah, in elementary school. Yeah.
Wow.
Some teachers are still doing this. Yeah.
It's really cool. Also, it just kind of means like there's no new ideas, right? Everything's like recycled from history, just cyclical. So then we moved on to the practice screen. We started to wireframe that out, and I did a little work on this last night just to push us a little further along. So there's some UI challenges that I want to talk about in here that were a little bit complicated. So this would be a child practicing like what number sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? They would drag these numbers, they would pop them in place. Once they're in place, they kind of snap into place. It's a nice little kind of UI. I call them like micro interactions.
Yes, that's the that's the term.
Standard term, right? Yep. So these little micro interactions are important, especially when you're working on UI for kids specifically. Those little animations that give instant feedback often to kids, that's important because they're used to kind of working with things in the real world. So having something that kind of snaps into place, like a block falling into a hole, is pretty important. And it can make the experience way better for kids, for sure.
And Artem is asking, do I need to submit my portfolio one more time if I submitted it when other guests were live? Yes, Artem, please submit it again if you want to get a chance to have your portfolio reviews. It's true for all of you. At the end of the show, we'll review at least 2 portfolios. So Artem, submit it again so we know that you are still watching. It's important for us. And you see there is a new countdown on the screen. It's for the Chat and Win, so we will give away a moo.com gift card in about 14 minutes. So stay tuned and we will explain how Chat and Win works. But basically you just have to, if you're just watching, like your mom, if you want to win a gift card, just create an account on behance.net/live, sign in and just say hi in the chat.
Great.
So all the gears on the right, with the
yeah.
progression.
Yeah,
that's the incentive, right? That's
the incentive. And my head's in the way. There we go. wrong hand. So this section over on the right-hand side, this is kind of as they progress through the different questions in their lesson, these gears will get put in place. And the gears, when they're all filled in, will activate this arm, and this arm will lower. And the tricky thing is it lowers a day at a time. So I have these indicators here. And so at the end of this
progress bar.
Yeah, so at the end of this practice session, this will drop to here.
Which doesn't really make sense from a pure physics standpoint.
Yeah,
the gears are not
that's
connected.
true.
It's not supposed to.
So part of this is we're working within a system that's already there, and we'll improve it over time. But the current system is,
it's fake physics.
It's kind of fake physics, right? And then this will change to 2 days once they've completed. So they see this animation when they're done with the lesson. They see this drop. They see this thing update. It'll like kind of bounce a little and be like, hey, 2 days left now. So they're a day closer to their goal, right? So that's kind of an overall progress that's kind of fun, and it leads towards the card that they're working on. This down here is a timer because 1 day's worth of questions is 10 minutes. So it's really designed for 10 minutes of practice a day.
Okay.
And this load bar will kind
of. Is it limited to 10 minutes too? Or can you do 20 minutes if you want?
The teacher could change the lesson to 20 minutes.
Okay.
But the setting in the teacher dashboard determines that 10 minutes equals 1 day of practice.
Okay.
So if a kid completes their 10 minutes, then they're done with their practice, and that gets them 1 day closer to earning their goal, right? So the other thing that we wireframed out was the profile page. So if a student clicks on their name, we get to give them their home login information. It's something that's not going to get used that often, and the teacher can send this to the parent directly. So we kind of hid it. The current homepage shows it right now to everyone. All these kids see their home login. They're at school, so that's kind of confusing. They thought they logged in at school.
Yeah.
Now they see their home login information. So we really didn't want to show it unless it's really needed and the teacher needs to find it for a student quickly.
So it's moved to a profile page.
Yeah. And there's a term for that in design called it's progressive disclosure. It means you're only showing users what they need when they need to see it. And that's a really important term because it means that you can keep an application and an interface really simple, but you can hide a ton of the complexity behind the scenes, right?
You were explaining that every time you add text, you add complexity.
Yeah.
So having clearly panels, and it's still an app at the end of the day. So you shouldn't be shy about adding interactions just to display information that you will use maybe once every year.
Correct.
And Alana, there was a question by Alana who joined us and discovered XD thanks to you this week.
Oh, great. Awesome.
She's asking if it's working for interactive editorial publishing too. No, it's more in design, Alana, especially so in design if you haven't tried this, but you can design like a publication within design like a magazine, but try, it's somewhere in the menu, publish online. It will create a web experience where you can navigate through the pages. You can even add animations actually in your InDesign pages. So if you don't know this tool yet, try publish online in InDesign and it should help you. There is no, even just the text engine of XD is too limited to really create a real editorial work. Basically, I don't even know if we have Justify, actually. No, you see, there is not even justification, so. It's for the web and for apps.
Yeah, and there's workarounds you can do for formatting the text the way you need, adding bullets, that kind of stuff. It's
true.
Okay, so if we look at our user flow map, right?
Yeah, so
we could see that we've done pretty much everything up here.
Oh, yeah.
We've done our homepage.
Yes.
We've done our, this is the updated. We've done our profile page.
Yes.
So now we've done our lesson player. It's really just the rewards screen that's left, I guess. So we're getting close on the wireframes. We will get into color and illustration and all that very soon.
Yeah, there are maybe 2 screens left.
Yep. Okay. So I'm actually gonna move this down just to get it out of the way. We'll work on rewards next.
We have a Salswag in the chat who says, thank you for choosing my design yesterday. Remember this amazing fashion blog?
Oh, yeah.
With the scrolling.
That was
Sal,
great.
It was
Good
awesome.
job, Sal.
And what was awesome is that after we discovered that you worked on a print project with the same philosophy, we saw that on your portfolio. So it's good that you took your knowledge as a graphic designer to put it into interactive design with XD, which is a great lesson for everyone. It was very impressive.
So what I'm going to do is, when a kid clicks on this card over here, we want to open up a modal window that will show them that they've got the card selected and how many days left they have. We also want to show them what cards they've already earned. So it's kind of
like the
Pokemon cards, right? Like
yeah,
what
what's
have you
the
caught?
name? Not the dashboard, but not a Hall of Fame. It has a name now when you show all the rewards.
Okay.
In a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. They will find the name, I'm sure. Sorry, Paco.
Trophy.
Maybe trophy. Yeah. Paco, he plays Fortnite too much, so he's a little bit confused.
So we'll say this card is Albert Einstein.
Okay.
Did I spell Einstein correctly? I think I did.
Close enough. Like if it's achievements, yeah, maybe that's it.
Okay. And we'll put this label here so they know how many days left they have to work on this card. 3 days left. And then we're going to show what cards they've already earned, right? So we'll put a divider there, just because that's kind of a separate space. Einstein's card, we could make this a little bigger too, right? Use our grid, make use of our grid, like good designers. Like good designers do and should. Okay. And then we'll say down here, earned cards. We'll apply one of our styles over here on the left-hand side. One of the really cool things about XD is you have assets, and you can store your colors that you're using. You could store font type styles that you're using, and then any symbols as well. It's really nice because they're super accessible, and to move them into place, you just drag them out of the assets library and put them right on the screen.
And what's good is that it's not fixed, so you can edit these text styles, character styles at any time.
Yeah.
You can say right-click, edit, and actually we just license a new typeface for the app, and it will replace it like on all your screen. So when you will be editing the styles, so it's a huge time saver. So I really encourage you to look at the assets panel. So how do you do assets, Matthew? Okay, maybe I can quickly show you as you are designing the
Yeah,
stuff.
go for it.
So Matthew, the assets panel is here. So usually by default, when you launch XD, there is nothing. So you can open it here in the, what's going on here? Okay, and you can store colors, character styles, and symbols, okay? So I will just draw a shape, put one color here, and maybe duplicate this shape, and we'll add a gradient, because it also works with gradients. So whatever you select, if you click on colors here, it's storing two colors, the colors of the fill and the color of the border. Same here, it's storing my gradients, okay? Character styles, if you just say, hi everyone, I will select the Adobe official font 64 and change the weight. Here we go. You do character style, and it will add it here. So now if I'm tapping another title, and that it's with something completely different, you just have to select text, and you click on the style, and it will apply it again, okay? Symbols, so if you create something more complex than this, so if I duplicate this, And we'll do a weird button. So I will invert the gradient here. Here we go. So you select the button and you click on symbol. Here we go. Now I have 3 buttons, and it could be on several artboards. So the beauty of assets is that at any time you can edit your assets, and it will edit it everywhere. So I will quickly duplicate these artboards. So imagine you have like 100 artboards, and we will edit the character style. So this is what we were mentioning. To maybe change the color, it will change it everywhere, you see? Or even the size, it will change it everywhere. Same with symbols. So I have a symbol here. If I go inside to edit my symbol, you have like, it looks like they're all talking, you see? Hi Josh, how are you? So it will edit it everywhere. And same with colors. So I'm using this gradient. So, something very cool. Maybe you don't know this one. You can right click on something and say highlight on the canvas. It will show me all the objects everywhere that are using this color, for instance.
Awesome.
That's super cool.
Really cool.
And then I can edit it here and say, okay, we need something way cooler. It's too warm. And here we go. It will edit everything in real time.
That's really neat.
One trick also that someone asked me the other day, when you have a shape like this, and I will increase the color of the border, and I will change it to this. Let's say I want to apply this gray to the color of the border. So if you just click, the object becomes gray. So the fill, you know?
Yeah.
So the trick is to right click and say apply as border. And
nice.
And now the border is gray. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know those tricks.
And you can rename the assets. So gray, official red. And you can also reorder them if you want to group them per categories and stuff. So yeah, so that's the asset panel. Like, make sure to use it like as much as you can, because it's a huge time saver. What Josh did is perfect. Like you already have like at least 12 screens, referencing character styles, colors, and stuff. So it's very, very good practice.
You showed me yesterday too that there's a grid
layout
layout of the assets, which was, I didn't know, and that was super helpful.
Yeah. So if you don't rename your assets, if you don't need the text, basically just use this view. Okay, you will save some space. I think it's better.
Yeah.
Cool. So I hope it helps. It was for Matthew. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm back to this card screen, almost done with this. I'm going to add a little description about Albert Einstein here. And I'm going to tell you guys about a little app I use. It's called Little Ipsum. And it's really awesome because it puts Lorem Ipsum right up here in your toolbar. And you can select one word, a sentence, a paragraph, 2 paragraphs. I noticed on one of the broadcasts, I think it was with Lauren, her internet went out. She's like, I can't get Lorem Ipsum now. Maybe it was Kat, one of the two.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And so this
on
is
the first day.
Yeah, this is a really cool little app, so you don't panic. And then I'm gonna just apply this styling here.
Wow.
See how quickly that was.
I love this extension.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So in Adobe, we announced for XD, we just announced that plugins are coming.
Oh really?
Yeah, plugins are coming. I'm pretty sure that one of the first
man.
will be a Lorem Ipsum, because that's the
Absolutely.
like the classic exercise, when you want to develop a plugin for an app. So I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't seen them yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. I could create it like as an example, like as just for practice. So what's nice is that the plugins in XD are using JavaScript.
Oh yeah?
So yeah, so
Great. So it'll be really easy for the community to develop plugins around.
Yeah, I think it would be awesome. And yeah, I see the fireworks. So we will play a little intro video and I will explain what is going on. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, you got it. So this is the chat and win moment. This is your time. If you're just watching, make sure to say at least hi in the chat, or let us know where you're from. We're live from San Francisco. You're flying back to Portland in a few hours. Let us know where you're from. And we have a script which will randomly pick someone in the chat who has been active. And you can win this week and today a Moo card, gift card. Okay, so you can create, like upload your own design, create your own business cards. It will look super professional. They have like amazing paper. I don't know if you know Moo.
Yeah,
but it's really amazing. So yeah,
you can also do pretty like unconventional cards, right? With rounded corners, and different shapes,
and they have like first class card. Also, you can do like a golden foil. I mean,
oh really?
No, it's
cool.
Really insane. It's really the best website.
They've solved a huge problem. I mean, that everyone needs. God. And I remember doing print work, when I started out, and it was always just finding a local print shop and working with them. If you wanted rounded corners, you had to get a die made. It was really complicated. It was expensive. It was a big hassle. So Moo cards are amazing. Yeah. Really cool. So easy.
So who will get the Moo cards during this episode? We will display the name in a few seconds.
Oh yeah, my brother used Moo cards, and he said you can choose as many variations in your stack. So if you want to print 100 cards, you could have 10 that look one way, 10 that look another way. And he did that as an artist. So, every few cards, he changed to a different artwork on the back. So cool.
That's very nice. That's the same with Adobe cards, actually. We have like 4 variations.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so hopefully we get a name. What's going on with the script? Oh my God.
Just thanks, you really want more chances.
And the good news, like waiting for the name, the good news is that we are also giving away, not us, actually, it's moo.com is giving away a discount code to all of you. So for all the Adobe Live fans, visit moo.com/Adobe Live. So if you were planning to print anything, including business cards, make sure to use this coupon and you will get 15% off. Very good discount, thanks to moo.com to all of you. So it's not limited, it's really like a great gift from Moo. Okay, so hopefully our community manager will wake up and we I think we lost him. We lost our community manager.
So we'll announce that in a moment.
I'll go back to it when it's time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We will display the name. You can just say Gus in the chat. Gus.
Okay, well, I'll keep going. We'll announce the winner in just a moment. So the last piece of this puzzle is we're showing the rewards. We're showing, this is Albert Einstein. I have a little description. I also wanted to add stop working. A little area to stop working on a card. There's a feature in XD where you see how I had this big paragraph box?
Yes.
And it's all big. And there's a way to make it so that the box will just snap and be automated to whatever you're actually typing. And it's over here on the right-hand side.
You convert it into point text.
Point text.
Yeah.
And see how nice and clean that is now?
We have a name. Congratulations, Anne. Anne Piecha. Or Piecha. It depends on where you're from. Let us know where you're from, Anne. Oh, I see you.
Yeah.
Fantastic evening for wedding. So you're in Europe, if it's the evening for you.
Nice
congratulations, job. Anne. Let me see if I can see where she's from. Trying to click on the name. And I think she's from the UK, United Kingdom. Okay, this is great.
Cool, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
So I'm gonna add this stop working button right there.
I think we have a chat issue.
And then I'm gonna add a button for kids to be able to browse the cards, right? Because that's something that we want them to do. Browse, maybe I'll just say all rewards. And this will let them essentially choose what they want to work on. Let me apply that color.
So yeah, congratulations, Anne. We will send you a private message on Behance.
So I'm gonna add these little cards up here.
Sometimes, so no, Milan, Albert Einstein is not the winner of Chat and Win. I know it's confusing.
No, I know. His name's on screen now. So I'm gonna create these. What you find, I think, especially with designing kids apps, is that like a button is not really gonna be obvious enough. for them. So I'm gonna create this little graphic up in the upper right that has kind of the cards like splayed out.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
That gives them an idea that, oh, there's something here that
It's something else.
you might wanna take a look at, right?
Okay.
So do this. Oops.
Yep. Very good. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's
Right.
a nice invitation to
Yeah, exactly.
discover more. I like it.
So I'm gonna group those.
Anne is from Poland and now she lives in the UK. Okay.
I'll just put them here for now. I know that looks kind of messy, but it's a wireframe. It's okay. It'll be all right.
So Kevin, you change the outline to gray. So today in Adobe XD, you cannot have a gradient applied on the border of a shape. It's a shame because I already have a use case for it, but I'm still waiting for this feature.
Oh, you can't have a gradient on
the shape.
On the shape
on the
itself.
path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's only on the feel.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that is pretty good. Is this size 40? Is this size 24? Okay. Okay. So I think it's a good start. The
Yeah, I
last
like it.
the last screen that we have, I'm gonna remove these drop shadows though. Put a fill, just to, and when you do wireframes, sometimes using shades is a good way to de-emphasize things. So
Ah, it's true.
if you're like,
Yeah.
you know, when we do the actual design, maybe this will look three-dimensional or something, but when you're just doing the wireframes, you know, you could be pretty liberal in how you use different shades of gray in order to emphasize or de-emphasize things, right? So then this last screen, I'm feeling like this should probably be bigger. Maybe this should be big and this should be a little smaller. So I'm gonna just de-emphasize that, make it a little smaller. Okay.
So Darren says you can cheat and make the path a feel. How do you do that? Okay.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
You'll look
He
it
has
up.
access to features I'm not aware of.
He has secret
you make-
feature access.
Yeah.
So okay, so this is the all rewards screen. So when someone clicks on all rewards up here, we're gonna take them to all rewards, right? And this will be all of our buttons. And we're gonna put card name under here. And then we also need to put how many days it will take to earn that card. So let's say 3 days. I'm gonna align these to center by over here, and then I'm gonna line them up. And then I'll apply some styles to make them smaller.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
So Darren, apparently you learned a trick from Paul Trani, and you can convert a path to a feel. Okay. Maybe it was in Illustrator, Darren, no? In XD, I would be surprised. I know in Illustrator you can, but...
And then I'm gonna use my favorite feature, which is repeat grid. Go here, and I'm just gonna drag like that.
Nice.
So
There we go.
awesome, and it works both
Oh, yeah.
directions, which is so cool. And what I really like is that this repeat grid feature, it masks the shapes you're working on too. So like this window cuts off here.
Yeah, so it's
right?
incentive to scroll down, you mean, or?
Yeah, I mean, so
And
you,
not in
so
this
you
case,
can
because
box it
you're-
in easily.
Ah, no, yeah. It is actually.
Yeah. And then if you edit one of these, it treats the first one that you edited like a symbol.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a easy, fast way to make symbols that you don't really want in your symbol library.
That's true.
And then if you want to get rid of the grid, I mean, if you want to disconnect it so these lines aren't here anymore and everything's individual, you just ungroup it. And that's Command-Shift-G, that ungroups everything. And now I can move stuff. I can scale things independently when you're ready to do that. Okay. There's one more screen that we didn't map out. I'm gonna do that real quick because I feel bad not doing it. And that is the actual individual rewards. So if I click on one of these cards,
to
now I need to go on
Yeah.
card detail page, right?
Okay.
And I'm just gonna steal from over here, because that's basically the same information we need here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll make that bigger. We'll use our grid. Move this over here. Oops. Now we can make Albert's name a little bigger.
And are you considering features where you compare students, in the same class, or?
Of like who's earned what kind of thing?
like 7 students already have this.
Yeah,
you know.
actually, in the teacher app right now, you can see the
how
students
many-
who've earned it.
Mhm.
So that's something I hadn't really thought of in the student app, but that would probably be kind of cool in terms of like competition, right?
Yeah,
like,
I'm
hey,
wondering.
these kids already earned this card.
But maybe they can be overwhelming or discouraged. So I don't know. Like there is a psychology research to be made. Like, does it help? Like using
It could be like positive peer pressure, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
like, hey, these kids did it, so can you.
So Ashi is asking, can you duplicate pages in XD? So yeah, you select an artboard and you press Command D or Control D on Windows. It will directly duplicate it and actually place it next to it. Like it will be very well organized.
So for and on Mac, you can hold down Alt, and you can just
also.
drag and make a duplication like that.
Yeah, or you can just do
Or you can just-
Command D.
Command D.
Yeah, let's see.
Command D. Look at that. Amazing.
Yeah.
You don't even have to do copy paste. Command D. Very cool. So I liked Michael's idea of putting who else has earned this card.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab
Like
some
your friends,
avatars here. Oops, I didn't grab the whole thing. Do I have it? Do I have it? Oh. Okay,
Here
there.
we go.
And then I'll say,
You want to put the name or how many people got it?
yeah, so both. We'll say,
Yeah.
oops. What should we say, like 5,
Friends.
yeah, friends, I like that. Friends have earned this card. And then we can put their names here. So let's put Amanda here.
Mhm.
And then we can actually just
Yeah, just repeat it.
group that, and then we can just repeat that, right?
Yeah, vertically or horizontally, like it's up
Yeah,
to
you
you.
can do both even.
Mhm.
We could do the whole grid layout again.
Yeah.
So that's not beautiful, but it works for now.
I think it could be an incentive if you want to have an exclusive card,
I agree. Yeah.
or if you need help. You
Yep.
say, okay, Amanda already has a card, maybe she can help me, I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
So if the teacher sets the tone that it's not a competition, and creates like a supportive environment, this could be very good.
Yeah. I like that idea a lot.
Mhm.
Okay. I think we're done with our wireframes. Let's go back to our flow and just double check, because that's
Yep.
why it's there. So we've got the home, the login, home login, school login, choose name, home page, rewards, lesson, player, profile page, reward detail. I think that's everything. Someone just asked, how do we put lorem ipsum into the artwork? And I recommend this really
Oh, yeah. Can
awesome
you show it
free
again?
tool.
So
I think
cool.
it's free. Might be like $1 or $2.
I will check. So
Totally
what's the
worth
name?
it though. It's called lorem. Let's see. I think just lorem ipsum. Oh, little ipsum. Sorry, little ipsum.
Okay, I will tell you if it's free or not.
Okay. And if you have a paragraph, so I'm gonna make just a text
It's on the Mac App Store. of
right
course.
here. I can go to this little lorem ipsum generator. I could choose
It's $1.
a sentence, 2 sentence, a paragraph, 3 paragraphs, and then I can just, oops, then I can just paste it in. It's really awesome. It's how much?
$1.
It's gonna be like the best
$0.99.
dollar you've ever spent. They didn't pay me to say that. But I use it all the time, and as a designer, you will use it all the time. It's specifically great just because you can choose exactly how much text you want to grab. So I would highly, highly recommend that. Okay, So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate this document, and I'm going to use the wireframe as the foundation of the designs. And we're going to start putting color in. It's going to get vibrant and fun because this is a kids app. So I'm going to save as. I'm going to say Classhero Designs. Okay. So now we are good to start messing with this and adding in color. And this is what I do. I stick with the same wireframe document, so everything is already there. I don't have to look at it, switch back and forth and reference it. So I know right away, I have some assets that I've pulled in here and there. Oh, I have this other app that's hiding things.
That's cool.
Disable hiding, because I like a nice clean.
What's the name of the app?
It's called Hocus Focus.
So many cool
Good
apps.
name. Hocus Focus, and it lets you only view one application at a time, so everything stays really clean, which I quite like, but I'll turn that off. So I've got some resources here, and I'm gonna start adding some of these things in here. So I have a background that we've used for other things. It's kind of this starburst, bright orange, very appealing and fun. I'm gonna grab that, and it's very big. You can see it's not sure which artboard it's supposed to be on, so I have to move it into this artboard, right? So we'll put that here. And Command-Shift left bracket will move something instantly to the background. And I use that a lot as well, because sometimes you just need to push things all the way to the back or pull them all the way to the front. That's Command-Shift right bracket, and that'll pull it all the way to the front. So obviously this does not look good in grayscale here. I'm gonna make this a nice white color. Look how nice and vibrant that looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I have, because we're going with our class hero, the hero theme, the kind of knight, the little dragon named Drago. So we're gonna kind of go with a castle dragon, fun storybook type theme. So I've got some resources here. I'm just gonna open all these. I have animal avatars. I have a castle. I have some gears and some Drago illustrations.
Nice.
Let's open these things up. And you can go find a lot of these on a stock website.
Oh,
Adobe
yeah. On Adobe
has,
stock,
has
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of illustrations,
So many
that kind of thing.
illustrations, yeah.
These ones were custom done by one of our, an illustrator.
Oh, cool.
These were as well. So we have Drago in these are just a few of them, but we have Drago in these different kind of poses and things, which are kind of fun. I'm gonna grab Drago. I'm gonna go back to my designs. I'm gonna place him in here.
Nice.
There we go. And
He looks like a hero. No.
he looks like a hero now with
Yeah,
this.
like a middle-aged
Yeah, exactly.
knight.
Okay. So that's fun. Like the starburst is coming. I'm gonna move these, buttons down. Nope. I think
what's coming with
I
it?
have Drago in the way of
Ah,
my stuff.
yeah. Drago is taking
He's
a lot
getting
of
in the way,
space.
Sucking the air out of the room. Okay, there.
Cool.
So that's looking nice and appealing. I like
Yeah.
that we're having kind of this orange-yellow color scheme. I also have another illustration that I want to use. If you have a lot of windows open like I do, I think, how do I do? Oh, so obviously if you're a Mac, you can find them like that.
Yeah.
But the window menu up here will let you choose what you
yeah.
want to go directly to. So I want to go directly to Castle. Again, this is a stock illustration. If you're an illustrator, you can totally spend the time to do it. But for me, I'm like spending 10, 20 bucks for something that took someone hours, totally worth it. But you do have to be careful. This is a demo. I don't know. I haven't checked the licensing if we'd be able to actually use this in the app itself, right?
If it
There's
comes
certain
from Adobe
restrictions.
stock, it should be, yeah.
Okay.
You can use it. And the trick that I use, so I designed some website, like for some programs, using stock illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
And what's great with, if you want to have a sense of like consistency, with your illustrations, is that you can, once you find a style that you really like,
Yeah.
display all the illustrations by this designer on stock.
Oh, that's really nice.
Like you just
Super
click on the
nice,
name
yeah.
of the designer, and you will see all the illustrations by this person, and then you can say, oh, he made a castle, but he also made some mountains that look very good, and usually it's in the same style.
That's cool. Yeah.
So,
Because that's hard when you're finding illustrations for multiple things.
Yeah.
You need to find illustrators where it's all in the same style. It's great. So I put this castle in the background to kind of go with our,
nice,
our
yeah.
theme of
like,
the hero, the knight, right?
Mhm.
I think that's important too. You don't want to just have random illustrations. I don't know what to do with this.
this way.
It seems like it could be a hill, right?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe? Something like that. Depends on what color we make these buttons.
Yeah, maybe you can add some flowers, like leather.
We would probably want to make some of this like
the name, daisies?
lighter or
Daisy
darker,
flowers?
some daisies. Let's see. We want some like variation, right, in our hill. Let's do this one
Designing in XD.
a little darker. Yeah, I mean that's what
Some
it's all
offset.
about, right?
Hey, Lauren is in the chat. She was in the studio like 15 minutes ago, and now she's in the chat.
Okay.
She's everywhere.
Hi, Lauren.
Even Mark. Oh my God.
Good, Mark's in the chat with us. Watching from the other
Yeah,
side.
we're adding some colors now.
Yeah. I'm also kind of making things like a tiny bit uneven.
Yeah,
I think that's okay,
yeah.
right? I'm gonna add a shadow to this. You see how adding a large background shadow, I know this we're getting more like illustration in XD, which you totally
That's
can do,
UI.
which is really cool.
That's a UI trick.
But yeah, adding this with and without the shadow, you see how the hill, because it's a similar green, it kind of blends into that background. It doesn't have a lot of dimension. By adding that little shadow, it just kind of creates this nice faded gradient that rises up from it. And it's
Oh yeah. I
it's
see
just
what
kind
you
of a
mean.
nice trick, right?
Yeah. And you can play with the subtle gradients too. I mean, there are many tricks.
Yeah, I mean, even this, I'm not sure how this would do with the, I don't think we can do a border on this because it's an imported shape.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't
Is it vector or?
It is vector, but
Oh, there is a clipping
It's-
mask or something. You see?
you're right. Oh, but see, these are,
Ooh, clipping mask.
I think those are filled, these are like outline shapes.
Yeah, exactly. It needs some work in.
Yeah, so we're gonna leave that alone then.
It needs some work in Illustrator. Yeah.
Yeah, but one trick we could do if you can't add a border is you can duplicate. So I duplicated the shape,
And offset it a little bit.
and then I can offset it. I can make it like, you know, a dark orange. And then I can move it backwards,
I see. Yeah.
right? So it kind of makes it pop out a bit.
Yeah. Nice try. Nice. That's good. Now it's more like glowing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then we got to do something about these buttons,
Tuya is
right?
asking, is there going to be kids on image photo or this image? Kids on image or pictures?
Oh, I
so,
see.
Yeah, so when they log in, they will have to choose their name and they will have, will it be their own pictures or
It won't
maybe
be
an avatar?
photos. You know,
Yeah.
kids apps for schools, there's like student information systems where there's privacy
Oh, yeah,
things. So
exactly.
you don't want to have too much detail about the kids. Even some of these we're probably just going to use like first initials of last names. And you actually have to think about that as you design apps. If you're designing for healthcare, if you're designing for school systems,
Yeah, privacy.
you have to think about privacy, what's allowed. If you're emailing, I know certain HIPAA compliance, even when I was running Setmore, we sent appointments for dentist offices or doctors. We'd have to be HIPAA compliant with what we can include in those emails. So you do have to do a little research and think about that kind of thing.
There is a scandal in France, everything is a scandal in France. It's a bit like in the
It's
US.
always a scandal.
It's a politician, so he wants to run for presidency in a few years, and he's the leader of the Republicans, let's say.
Yeah.
And he's also the president of a region in France. And he sent a text message to all the students in his region saying, "Oh, I wish you like a good back to school day."
Yeah. Yeah.
But then on Twitter, the parents were like, "Hey, how did you
You
get
can't-
the phone number of my kids?
How did he get the phone number of all
And
the
it was in the school apps, but then
I see.
Then there are some privacy settings, like you cannot use this information to just say, "Hey, happy back to school day."
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, you have to be, a lot of that stuff is sensitive. And I've made suggestions when I came into Classhero, like, oh, why don't we do this? That'll be so much easier for the parents. And I was like, no, the founder's like, no, you can't do that kind of stuff, you know? So we're gonna make this button look a lot more appealing.
Okay.
Like I said yesterday, kids apps, you get to do, to me, you get to do kind of more fun Web 2.0. If anyone remembers Web 2.0, where there was like gradients and gloss and skeuomorphism, right? So I already know this font is this. It's a children's kind of font that's kind of fun. It's a little.
Hi Yassine, thanks for joining. Hi Yusuf.
It's a little Angry Birds-ish type in its look, right?
Angry Birds.
Just kind of that slanted, fun, kind of juvenile-looking text, right? Which I think is kind of cool. Then this button is...
Yeah, what is the typeface again?
It's called Carter 1.
Okay.
And if you go into Typekit or you can use other font, search engines, but usually you can search for fonts based on the style. And I knew this one, I wanted something that was kind of handwritten looking, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, if I can quickly show you. But
yes, sure.
So that's like when you visit typekit.com, you have browse by style, and you could do hand. I would say it's maybe the one like where you try to reproduce natural handwriting.
Lettering like that.
So what's cool is that you can do like this, school login, and directly test if it's legible or not. You can also add some properties, like you want something with a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Like with the width. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Maybe this one is easy to read, called Balloon.
Mm-hmm.
This one made by a crazy kid. Like, I would see this, I wouldn't trust the app. I said, no, I won't log in. I don't trust you.
It looks too, a little
This one is
too,
very cartoonish.
Yeah, that's similar to kind of what we're using now, right?
Yeah, so, and Typekit is a catalog of typefaces. So Typekit is not a foundry. It's just a service where you can license, it's a subscription model, typefaces. But what's good is that if you are a member of Creative Cloud, it's part of your subscription.
Right. Yeah.
So you can say, okay, I want to use this one in XD, and you click on Sync All. That's the button, and it will install it on your computer, and you can use it in XD.
That's awesome. Oh, I didn't know that would install on your computer automatically.
So it's automatic if your Creative Cloud desktop app is launched.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
This is the guarantee for us, the security bridge to say, okay, you're a Creative Cloud member, we install the font. Like if I quit the Creative Cloud desktop app, it will remove the font.
Oh, it will? Really?
Yeah.
So if it's not running, you won't see it in XD. Okay, well that's good to know then, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, where did my font go? Okay, so let's do something about this button. I'm gonna take this border off.
Yeah. Darren says, and it's true actually, design is probably the only place where Comic Sans could make sense. Which is actually the story
about
of
if Comic Sans really ever makes sense, though. I don't know.
So it made sense the first time.
Yeah.
It was designed by, he was working for Microsoft, and he was working on an app with a character like Drago, but maybe it was a dog, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was an app that was supposed to be friendly, so not for tech users, not tech savvy, but more for kids or even like pure beginners. It was the early age of Windows, so you had to be, like I remember giving trainings to people in Paris saying, okay, now open the window, and someone would stand up and open the window in the room, or search the file on the desktop, and they would be like, okay, so where is the file on my desktop? So so.
Wow.
Yeah, that was rough, just to instill the vocabulary, of computers.
Yeah.
And that's why he designed Comic Sans.
To make it feel approachable
for the
and
dog
friendly.
who was speaking. So yeah, just to make a friendly connection.
Wow.
But then the problem is that Comic Sans was available for free in all browsers, in Microsoft Word, and then that's why it was overused.
Right.
But
bad.
so popular because it looks friendly.
It does, yeah.
Compared with Times New Roman, which is very strict, with a lot of contrast. Comic Sans, it was inviting. It's like me. I am friendly. I have a pizza business which is friendly, so I will use Comic Sans. So yeah, that's what happened.
But don't use it. I mean, you can use it, but you're right. This would be actually an appropriate place to use a font like
this
that.
one is great. This one I like it because it's alive. There is some energy. It's a bit italic, and very easy to read. Super important for kids.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you could choose a really custom handwritten looking font, but I think choosing a font that looks friendly and fun, but also has structure to it. Like this is a very readable font. If we chose, and I see a lot of kids apps do this, they'll choose like a cursive font or a scribble looking font.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't really want the app that your kids are using to look like it was written by a 4-year-old, right? I mean, you want them to be able to read it. And I think having some structure actually is pretty important. So,
I agree.
So let's do this home login. I wanted to de-emphasize this home login. I want to make it Carter 1. I don't want it all caps. Home login. I want to make that bigger, but not as big.
Yeah, just to have a sense of hierarchy, which wasn't the case on the previous experience.
Correct. Yeah. No.
They had exactly the same value.
Exactly, and so the kids would click on. They wouldn't know which one to click on. Right?
Good point. Matthew is asking, do you plan to use the school icon? Remember?
Yes. Oh yeah, I do want to use the school icon. One of the things is, so I think we talked about symbol-based, and I think you either need symbol-based or color-based, because the teacher, most 4-year-olds know red.
Click the
right?
red button.
They could say click the red button, or click the button with the hat, right?
Yeah, click the on the house. Yeah.
Let me see if I have.
It was in the wireframe. No?
It was, yeah. I think I have some.
A better version.
A better version, though. Some school icons. Let's see, what do these look like? I don't exactly remember what's in here. Oh, there.
Oh, look
there's
at
a
that.
hat. Look at there's
beautiful.
There's a fancy hat we can put right in there.
Wow, yeah.
Looks nice and fun, right?
Which actually will drive some conversation, like if you are 3, 4, or 5, you have no idea what this hat is.
That's true, yeah.
Like, you say click on the hat, so I don't see any hat.
The teacher can say, if you...
I know, they will click on the hat of Drago.
That's true, they might. So we could, there could be a more, well, let's go with this for now, but yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like a kid might not know that that's even a hat, but at least the button is red, so they could identify it there.
Yeah, but that's why I like with UI design, you have to think about everything.
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
Even like this outside of the US.
It's not used.
No, like if you have a degree in France, you don't have this hat.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So
now I feel bad about
rough,
my hat decision, Michael. Well, let's put it in there for now. And this is for a US audience, so that's one bonus, right?
Exactly.
So I think
for French, you can put a croissant.
Yeah.
Anything.
The other option here would be to make this like a purple button. I want to see what it looks like.
Voodoo, you say, maybe you can use a crown. Like something related to the universe, but not to school. Yeah,
you could do that actually.
It could be this type of language too. Yeah.
What do you guys think about purple versus red?
Oh, you know what you should do?
What's that?
So you should go back to the red.
Okay.
And do a Command D, and you put them next to each other. The artboard.
Ah, yeah.
And then we will vote.
Okay, I like it. Okay, we're voting for purple.
Red or purple?
Versus red. The purple sticks with the kind of
with Drago
color scheme. The contrast is, well, they're both pretty high because they're on green. Purple's on yellow and the red's on green. So they're both pretty high. So let me know what you think.
So far, red is winning by far.
Red is winning. Yeah. Okay.
There is one vote for purple.
Someone says red to purple.
Joe is on purple now.
Red. Oh, it's wow. There's a battle going on.
There's a battle.
It's red. It's purple. Red. Red. Purple.
Even Zach says red, where usually he would say black because he only designs in dark mode.
Oh right.
So
that's true. Are you tallying these up in your head?
Purple is like both could work. They are like.
What's the consensus? Do we have any?
No.
No consensus?
No. It's 50-50. It's interesting.
That makes it a little rough.
Maybe it should be blue. Something in the middle.
Yeah, maybe. Red pops, grabs the attention. Red. Red is a stronger contrast. That is true. It is a stronger contrast.
And it's true that Drago is purple already, so
It might be too much.
maybe...
What do you think, Michael? I'll let you decide.
I would choose red.
You would choose red?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we like it with a bit of a border like that? Or is that just too much?
I think it's
don't.
the first time I will interact with the app, so it's important for me to understand that's a button. Like I would exaggerate on the first screen, you know, like I would over-design it to make sure that I want to click on this, and I don't want to click on Drago, for instance, which he also has a rounded shape around him, you know. So I want to make
that's
clear
a good
that
point.
this is a button.
Let's make it even more buttony. If that's a word. It means button-like.
Buttony.
And there's some things you could do. Let's see what we could do. So one of the things is we could add a little shine up here, which I think could be interesting. So we'll go here. I'm using the pen tool now, which lets you draw freeform vector shapes, which is cool. It's a little tricky to get the hang of if you haven't done it much in life.
And it's different from Illustrator, the behavior a little bit. It's a
little bit.
simplified pen tool, I would say. So
yeah, it is simplified. But you see how
we can get the spirit,
We've got a little shine going on here.
Nice.
You'll see in a sec. Let me make this a little. Okay, I'm gonna turn that border off and make the fill. And then one of the things is you don't want a ton of contrast, right? You just want something that's gonna look nice, but not be too
very subtle, but
crazy, right? It just says
it's just a tip, you know, just a tip for the eye.
Exactly. It's like an indicator for a kid, like, oh, this is like 3-dimensional. This is something I could click on, right? So that makes kind of a fun, very clickable button, right?
Can you hide the grid so we get more?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there's a shortcut. Sorry.
I bet there's a shortcut.
View.
I don't know what it is though.
It's Command Shift and.
Command Shift.
And sorry, I don't know the name of this.
Layout?
No, this.
Oh, is that just a comma?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Command Shift.
Command Shift.
How do I find that?
Oh, hey, for me it's this one. Command Shift and.
Command Shift.
Oh, are you using the grid of, or is it a layer?
I'm using layout. Sorry.
It's a. Oh, it should work.
Command Shift. Oops. Nope.
Command Shift and this. No.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I didn't have the artboard selected. That's why.
That's why.
Okay. There we go.
There we go.
Very cool.
Looks great.
So this button is looking. It's looking pretty nice. I think it looks pretty nice.
Apostrophe.
Apostrophe.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. It's a French word.
Yeah.
I feel so ashamed.
It's a French word.
Yeah, it's French word.
Didn't know it. Oh my. And then you could debate forever on if you should have a border width of 5 or 6 pixels, but 5's okay. Let's just go.
I think it would. Okay, can you show the previous screen,
Which?
The previous experience, where we are coming from with the home screen?
Oh! I should have used this app. Okay, there we go. So here's the home screen, what it used to look like.
It was the one up. No.
Well, this was the log. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah,
this is the login screen.
That's what you just redesigned.
So this was what it looked like when we started, and this is the redesigned screen.
Yeah.
So I think we're making progress. Hopefully you guys think so too.
Yeah. What do you think? You prefer the old one? That would be.
Please don't say if you prefer the old one. Yeah, you can just drop out.
What
of the
I
chat.
really like also is that in the previous one like a big emphasis on kids, and you would miss Drago actually.
Yeah.
Like I didn't notice Drago actually.
Yeah, in that other one, right? We've got.
I didn't notice it.
Drago's
which
over
is in
there.
a different style.
It's all in a different style, right?
And
like we've got black outlines and borders, and Drago looking flat, and the kids looking 3-dimensional.
And the kids are looking a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Which is nice when it comes to energy, but I feel that they are more like up to sport, like ready to play basketball.
Right. Yeah, it does look more like a sport. It's like there should be a basketball right here, right?
And just like defining a universe like middle age, because now this is a language you can use all the time, like with the machine, with the gears,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just about to comment on. Is When you're designing a kids app or even just a clean UI that looks modern, whatever, what you're really doing is you're creating a visual language and a design language. And design language, just like actually when you design a font, you need to be repeating angles and shapes and dimensions. The same here, you know, the things that you're using in a design, it needs to be repeated so that the user, they don't know how to analyze it, but they'll notice if you're not reusing elements throughout the design because it will feel disconnected. Reusing those elements, the colors, the fonts, that's what helps create visual language for users so that they feel comfortable with the app and they feel like it's cohesive in the experience, right? If you go into a building, you don't want all the doorknobs to be different doorknobs and the stairs to be different heights and all these things, right?
Yeah.
It's much harder to navigate that way, literally in a building. And I know because I've lived in India where a lot of times the stairs were different heights and it makes it very difficult to go upstairs.
It's challenging.
It can be challenging.
Okay, so they all agree that this is way
Okay,
better.
it sounds like that we all agree the new
Yeah.
one is better. Yay, that's great. So I'm gonna grab all of this,
Okay.
I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna put it as the background here.
So is this just for the background?
Yeah.
So there is a trick too that you could do.
Oh, we could do
Just
the
export
modal,
a
right?
PNG. Oh, you could do the model.
Oh, that's true. I
Oh,
didn't think about that.
So you select the artboard and you do Command
Okay.
E. Command E.
Command E.
You select PNG.
Okay.
Design at 1. Yeah, it's enough. Yeah.
Oops. You just say login.
Yeah. Login background or something. Yeah.
Okay.
And
now we
just
go
drag and
here.
drop it, and you can lock it. You know.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's
a prototype.
That's a great
so
tip.
here we
And
go.
then I hit Command Shift left bracket to send it all the way to the back here.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna lock it, which I don't know the
Command L, like lock.
Command L. That makes sense. Command L.
Yep.
Look at that. I'm getting so much more efficient here. So then we're gonna do our school login screen.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a drink from my magic water bottle over here.
It's
Oh,
a
look
it's a
at that.
purified water, and you have 7 minutes left. You see, like here, 17 minutes left to submit your portfolio. We'll review at least 2 portfolios, so make sure to submit your portfolio. There is a portfolio review tab on behance.net/live next to the chat tab, portfolio review, and we explain how you can submit the link to your portfolio. And Josh will give you feedback on your work, the way you present your work, your portfolio, how you describe yourself. It's very important too. The copy is sometimes as important as the work.
Can I ask, Michael, is there a way to copy a style of a layer yet?
No.
Or is that a soon to be?
Oh, I think so.
Announced
No,
feature,
I
potentially.
I saw something. I think you can paste appearance or something. Paste.
Copy. I see paste appearance, but
Yeah.
I don't see a copy appearance.
So you copy
Okay.
and you paste an appearance. See what I mean?
Oh, whoops.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
Maybe let's try.
Ellipse.
And
And
so
then let's go.
select the button and copy, for instance.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
So copy.
Copy.
Yeah. And now let's try here. Yeah.
Okay.
And paste appearance.
Paste appearance.
Yeah. It could be directly
Oh,
here
Very cool.
on the
Oh,
canvas.
you can do it right on here.
I think so.
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So the height of this button is 85 pixels. I want this one to be 85 too. So I'm gonna adjust this so we have the same, we're all speaking the same design language. I'm gonna make this little button down here
Nice.
as a red back button. And we'll just use this little
Yeah.
back button throughout the whole experience, right?
That's the navigation.
Yep. We'll make this arrow. One thing with kids apps, you kind of want to make things a little, I'm talking like an expert at kids apps. Definitely not. One thing that I've noticed in researching kids apps is you kind of want to make things a little bit like cattywampus, like a little
Not
bit,
perfect.
yeah, imperfect.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I think that's something that makes them feel fun and kind of
More-
approachable, more human, you know?
Yeah. It's
So
like typefaces, we call them humanist. You know,
Yeah.
when a typeface reproduces the
Yeah.
design of.
Exactly.
So you can have like humanist design too. It's a good point.
And I'm converting these straight points by double clicking on them and see how it makes it into a curved
yeah.
a curved point, which is very useful. Okay,
Nice,
so
nice.
we got this
Very
cute
nice.
little. Oops, don't want to background blur it. Add a little shadow to it.
Nice.
It's a little mushroomed though, isn't it? You know? Probably don't want to quite.
Is it the bottom, you think?
I think it's. Oops.
Yeah. Maybe.
This guy. And if you hold down, see how I can drag this point independently
Yes.
now? It doesn't affect the other one.
Yes.
You got to hold down Alt to do that,
yeah.
and then it lets you do that without messing stuff up. Okay, we want to move these forward a little bit.
So what's great is that after you can convert both the arrow and the circle into a symbol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Put it on 50 screens, and retouch the symbol afterwards. You know.
Yes, exactly.
And it will change the design on all the screens.
So now I only have to
Awesome.
change this arrow in one place when I reuse it. And that's actually a great idea right now, is we should take the button, and we should group
Open
it
the-
and make it into a symbol.
Yeah.
A Command K, I guess, is make some.
Command K. Oh, Command K. Was this in Flash? Command K?
Yeah, I
remember
think
that?
so. Wow, we were talking about this building, Michael told me, is the birthplace of Flash,
Yeah.
which is pretty amazing, because that fueled my income for a while in the early 2000s. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going on this design. We're not gonna have time to do all the wireframes, so I'm gonna skip to this main screen after this so we can kind of get into the thick of things without wasting too much time. I'm gonna make this into Carter 1, which is our font we're using. I guess the W should probably
No,
capitalize.
it wasn't
Okay.
Command K. It was F8 or something.
I'm gonna use this bright orange. Let's make our our keypad, let's make it kind of glossy and fun too. So I'm gonna add a
Okay.
gradient on here. I'm gonna do like a soft,
So this is tricky because you have to make the keypad so obvious that this is interactive. Like this is where I have to tap.
yeah, you do.
It's not obvious.
No, yeah, exactly. So we'll do our best to make this obvious as a keypad that you want to interact with. Let's put like a big shadow on it so it kind of pops off the page a bit. Right. And we probably want a border on it that's maybe like a dark orange. The thing is, you'll find if you add like, oh, why is it not letting me?
What is the
I don't
shape?
see the border. Why is that? Border? There we go.
Yeah.
You find if you add, so like if I add a gray shadow to that, you see how it just doesn't look right? It just doesn't jive, because you don't, in anything you're doing, you're kind of mimicking what's happening in real life. And if
Okay.
you see an edge on, a red table, it looks darker. It looks like an outline kind of, but it's a darker red. It's not like a gray. I think
yeah.
that's where I see a lot of inconsistency sometimes with design when people are designing, is like they don't think about the little details like the border colors and stuff like that and how they're going to affect the overall look of the app. So I'm going to go with an orange and make it kind of beefy. Like that word, beefy. And I'm going to add these, oops. It's hard to grab these lines. I'll make those bigger. And then, let's see, make that one bigger too.
Yeah, Patsy says that maybe we could try to place a round gradient around each number, like with a revert, like in the opposite direction.
So it looks like a,
it's a good trick.
oh, to make the button look like it's
Yeah.
clickable? Yeah. Let's see if we do this. You guys see how I just... You see how these buttons, let me turn this off. What is it? Command apostrophe? Oh, I have to,
Command Shift
highlight
apostrophe.
the artboard. Oop, Command Shift. Okay, there we go. You see how these buttons, I just made them look kind of like three-dimensional? It's a little trick from...
How did you do that?
It's a little trick from when I used to make a lot of Web 2.0 type buttons, is you just take a lighter border and you just put it next to a darker border, and suddenly it gives a little dimension. Like those buttons are divided by an edge, which is kind of nice. We can do that here too, actually. We can take a border, we can make it white, and then we can send it behind. Oops. Come on.
And 9 minutes to submit your portfolio that we'll review at the end of the show.
There we go. Okay. And then we got to change these numbers, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Gray.
I don't know that Carter will work for these buttons.
Let's see.
What do you think?
I'm not sure.
The one doesn't really necessarily look like the one. I think with numbers, it's okay to use a different font. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What color do you think these should be? Do you think the orange? We should stick with the orange, or should we go with the red since that was kind of the?
No.
No, not the red. I think maybe kind of a dark.
Yeah.
Dark orange. Yeah. Is that what we're thinking? Okay. Let's do that. This could be a. What should that one be? Maybe stick with the orange, huh? Then we got to change this guy as well to make this look a little more appealing. We'll make it like. What do we think? Should we make it grayscale? Maybe gray is nice. Something simple.
Yeah, you don't want it to, like, pop out too much. Like, this is not something.
Yeah, it's not really
you use all the
something
time.
Need to use very often, right? I do want to make this a little thicker, though.
So Yingshan is asking, when creating number pad like this with individual number or text box easier for exporting? Yeah, maybe. So it depends. It's a conversation you can have with the developer.
Yeah.
Like in Unity, I guess they're waiting for spreadsheets or something. Or
Sprite sheets?
Or just
maybe.
Yeah.
My brother would actually know. He works in Unity a lot. Nat.
Because sometimes you just export one image and the developer will say, like, if you will draw the rectangle and say, if you click here, then I know that you're clicking on one. Like it's not like the web, where the web you have to. Actually, there is a trick in the web. Like this is something that exists in HTML 2 or 3. Where you have a picture and you can define on the same picture several.
Yeah.
Click.
Well, like when you hover, you change the background position.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of this property, but with Unity, you try to reduce the number of pictures because the more small assets you have, the more calls to the memory you make, I know, so you try to optimize everything.
So I'm making this button. This is Clever login, and Clever is a company that's like single sign-on, and it makes it super easy for kids to actually log in, and their color is blue, so the Clever color is blue, so that's why I'm making this a blue here. We won't go to, yeah, it's kind of a blue like that. And I will use a C as well, because that's their logo is, this is not exactly their logo, but we would take the time to go get a real, logo.
We need to ask them.
Ideally, yeah. Let's say Lato black. And let's make this big. Okay. I'm also going to make this section. I want to add some color below that to separate these two sections out from each other. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it backwards. I'm going to remove the shadow, and I'm going to do maybe like a light blue, a gray blue fill, something like that. So it kind of just creates its own section.
To have a divider, like that. Patsy thinks that the whole screen keypad is a bit off the side. Maybe it's not centered. Yeah,
I think
good
you're
point.
right. I think she's right.
Good, yeah, good catch, Patsy.
Group. We can tell because we'll just go here and then we'll go.
It's
Oh, no,
inside.
that's because I have this. I know why. I have this
Oh yeah,
going on.
No.
Okay, hold on. Is this? Yeah. Okay, now let's. Ah, yep. Thank you for that. It's embarrassing.
And you have the same space here
Don't
and here.
judge me too much.
To make sure.
I think that is centered. Nope, that is not centered. Oh man, it's bad.
Patsy. That's why Patsy was freaking out.
I understand.
Just try to.
Let's see. Oh, you know, we're just gonna go. We're gonna ungroup this. Grab this stuff. Go like this. And then, let's see, what is it? It's.
Yeah, you can use the arrow keys.
Yeah.
But you see there is still something that you select.
155, 165. Oh
So
no.
5 more.
You know what we should have done is
5 more. And you win.
just grabbed this and yeah. Okay, 5 more.
Here we go.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Patsy.
Good job. That's embarrassing after I just said that was a pet peeve of mine.
She says that Pixel Perfect Patsy is her nickname.
Pixel perfect Patsy. I like it. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna do is
You have a Donna Iwata. Have you heard of her?
no.
Donna Iwata Hopkins.
I've never heard of that lady in my life.
She says that she's completely technically ignorant, but she
That's-
watched and enjoyed all the 3 sessions and even understood a lot of it.
That's my mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
Donna! Good to see you in the chat, Donna.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks for creating an account on Behance.
That's awesome. Okay, so I added this little dimension here at the bottom, just to kind of make it fun. And I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna do these other wireframes because I want to get to this main screen.
Okay.
And we don't have much longer, so I'm gonna go here. This is our main home screen, right? And I
Yes.
really want to use
It
these.
used to be a bedroom.
It used to be a bedroom. I want to use these cute animal avatars. You guys can vote on
so-
what cute animal avatar I
Okay.
should use. So you vote
Which
on
one
that
is the
now
best? Yeah.
while I go back and I start on this. Pretty much any animal you can think of is basically there.
I like the monkey.
I'm gonna start switching text over. I'm gonna bring in our back button so I have some consistency among here. Put it there.
Kevin likes the elephant.
I'm also gonna start sampling kind of like colors and things like
Dara
that.
likes the fox. Adi, she likes the cow.
So I'm gonna make this like orange bar at the top, that kind of it's nice and vibrant.
Patsy is, she wants a frog.
Frog,
Like the Frog Prince.
like the there's no frog. I'm so sorry, Patsy.
Yeah. Let's find something that we would find in the Middle Age.
Like
The
a
monkey, I'm
horse.
not sure. Like,
How about a horse? How about the bunny? Cow. I think cow seems appropriate.
yeah, the cow. Adi, we had someone. Adi, she
Someone
wanted the cow.
liked the cow?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Let's use the cow.
Let's do the cow.
Tobias the cow.
Okay, Tobias. Cow. Oh, the cow looks nice.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
Okay, great. Then I'm gonna put, I'm just gonna put like a rectangle behind here. And this is, you see this kind of as a common design pattern, where,
Zach said it's sponsored by Moo.
exactly, I like it. Good job,
Exactly.
Zach. Exactly, wow. The puns are just, they're free flowing.
Okay, 5 seconds left to submit your portfolio. Hurry up. We review the portfolios in a few minutes.
So I put this box behind there to kind of call out this text. I'm gonna make this text like an orange. I'm gonna make it a little
Nice.
smaller. And maybe I'll
Looks
go,
so much better already. Like it's
go
so
crazy
welcoming, you
and
know?
just, oops. Just kind of,
Make it like a little bit more, yeah?
yeah. And you know, I'm actually gonna turn the grid
Sci-fi.
off so
Yeah.
we don't mess our colors up now that we're doing that, right? Okay, here's Tobias. I'm gonna use some of these tricks I used on that button. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna make this a solid color,
Okay.
but like a darker orange. And then I'm gonna change the opacity, so it just kind of looks like a shadow resting there on the bottom, right?
So
I also wanna make this a little
Behind.
slanted and uneven,
okay.
because that makes it a little more fun, right?
Oh.
Make this head a little bigger.
Ying is
Cool.
asking, what's the role of sticking with the grid? Like, does it need to be touching the grid as long as you are within the grid?
I think I definitely try to use the grid for general layout. If I turn the grid on here, you can see that things are lining up on the edge,
On the
right?
edge, okay.
Of these, I have 12 columns set up. So what's nice is I know that I can set this one up to take up 3 columns, and 4 of those will fit on my 12 column grid, because 3 times 4 is 12, right? But there's certain elements that, like this cow, for example, I want to line up like the face, because that's really what our eyes define as the edge of the cow's head, not the ear. So you kind of want to line up the biggest element when it's an illustration or something like that. Okay. Go here. We're going to change this to our new font, Carter 1, a little smaller. We'll make that orange too, because orange is what we're going with. We'll make this white. We'll round some corners there. Make this.
And we have hit the submission deadline for your portfolios, but we start reviewing, like, let's design this screen and we can review the portfolio after, okay?
Sounds good. I'm not exactly happy with that, but let's just leave it alone for now so we can move on. Okay. And then I want that castle in the background, because I think that castle is really cool. I want to put it back here. I'm going to send it to the back. It's a nice backdrop. And then back here, I'm going to add a rectangle
Okay.
that I send all the way to the back. And I'm going to kind of sample, because I don't want it to be as saturated as this one background.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a linear gradient. Actually, maybe I'll do a radial gradient, where the outside is orange, the inside is this light kind of,
Oh, yeah. Like a diffuse light.
yeah, diffused light. Sample from here. And then I'm going to change the opacity on it. So
Munir is asking if you have a Behance account on. Yeah, do you have a Behance account?
I have a Behance account, very out of date. So
It's not up to date.
it's
Okay.
not up to date, and that's my bad.
But
so
they can find you on Behance.
you
okay.
can find me on Behance, though.
And do you have an Instagram account? He's also asking.
Yes, I do. And that one is Iwata Son, Iwatason. And you won't find a lot of designs on there, but you will find a lot of artwork. I'm a painter, so I do painting also. Okay. And we're also going to take that. We don't want that castle to be distracting to people. So we're going to just like change the opacity of it, just to make it fade into the background a bit, right?
Oh, that's nice.
We have our Drago character over here somewhere. Where is he? There he is. We'll put him in the scene too, just for fun. We're rapidly running out of time. You can see the Drago doesn't quite match the style of some of the new illustrations, because this one is a little bit different than this one. That's okay for now, but I would, if
You would talk to your
in a real world, I would go back
illustrator.
to the illustrator and I'd be like, let's try and match up this illustration a little bit better, right? I'm gonna use this nice green hill. I'm gonna put it in here. So Drago is on the hill. We want it behind the lessons. You guys will probably notice that now Drago needs a shadow. I'm gonna create that by creating an ellipse under him,
Okay.
removing the border, choosing a fill, a darker fill. Actually, let's do a dark green because that looks better as a shadow. You don't actually want a grayscale shadow. And then there is this cool option called, nope, isn't it this one? Object blur. And I have it way too high. And you see how it blurs his shadow.
Nice. I never use it, the object blur actually.
Oops.
First time I see someone using it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there. Now Drago
So
looks
good.
like, he looks grounded now, right? We want Drago to be grounded.
So good.
So it's likely I'm probably not going to get through all of these things today, but let's keep going. Let's just make those orange and fun. We'll make this load bar. And see how, because this is on, what is it called? Repeat object. This changes, when I make one change, they all change, which is really, really awesome. I'm gonna add rounded corners, because life is more fun with rounded corners.
It's less dangerous.
Oh, this one won't let me though, huh? There we go. Rounded corners. Don't want these ones to be round, so I'll use Alt, and I will drag individual corners back to where they should be. Get back there. All right. Oh, come on. Okay, there. And then I'll change our text to Carter 1. And I'll probably change the color of it to more of a kind of a brown orange, something that will blend in a little bit better, right?
Nice.
I want to get to this. So this is what we've got so far. We've got a really appealing home screen with a big red login. We've got a pop-up here, a modal, where we're using our red back arrow. And then we've got this guy here. And let me change these. You can also type in your border radius over here. You don't have to do it directly on there. And I can see how this is kind of cutting off that shadow. So I'm gonna ungroup those so now we can see them all. I'm gonna take these, make these white. Unless you think they should be a different color, Michael. Is white okay?
Yeah.
Oh, they're transparent though. There you go. Okay. I'm gonna turn this border down.
Positive, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Pen tool. I'm gonna make a sloppy check mark here.
Munir is asking if you will submit this project design somewhere.
So this is an actual real project, and
Oh, so
it's
really the beginning of redesigning.
yeah, it's the
Classhero.com.
beginning of actually redesigning Classhero.com.
Oh, yes, well, we will follow Classhero.
Yeah, so please check out Classhero, and I'm COO of that company.
If you want to tell the story of the redesign at some point on Behance, you know,
Yeah,
it could be a great
for
story.
sure. I think that would be really fun.
Before, after, you know.
So these are lessons that have been completed. I want to make those darker orange. Okay. And I also want to add a shadow, so those pop off the page a bit. Okay. I'm going to release it from its mask. There we go.
Nice.
So it's getting there. It's getting better. It's getting close to us being out of time to look at portfolios. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to check the portfolios?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. So the first one is. Oh yeah, we want to do the intro. You will see, because we cannot review portfolio on Earth.
Oh,
We
really?
have to be in space.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go.
So let's travel to space.
Whoa.
There we go.
Space is amazing.
Wow, that was fast. Whew. That was fast.
It's quick. Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like I aged, you know, like 10 years. Oh, that's space. Okay, so let's review the first portfolio by Iwata-san. Just wanted to. So let's Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, that's my Instagram
So, yeah,
account.
that's your art. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's my.
Make sure
that's
to
my
follow
painting,
John.
So.
Okay, now let's review profile of Kelsey. Kelsey, so from South Africa. Thanks for watching. It's very late there. Kelsey, okay, so first advice for you, I would add a paragraph somewhere just to introduce yourself. Super important. So let's put you in the skin like you're looking for a UX designer to work on Classhero and you're checking some portfolios, okay?
Okay.
So just describe what is your first impression and
Yeah.
what do you want to check?
First impression, very mobile centric. So it looks
Okay.
like you're primarily a mobile designer. Don't know if that's true or not. I like that you're showing the tool you're using with showing that you was built in XD.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
prototypes, yeah?
Okay, then. Let's check this
Yeah,
one.
let's check one.
Adobe Live UX Design Winner. Oh yeah, so he won on Adobe Live. Oh, okay.
Oh, cool. That's great. Oh, this looks very nice, very clean. I call these ugly wireframes, and I really like ugly wireframes because you're not focusing on the grayscale or the anything. They're not that they're ugly, but they look great, and I think that's really nice to show your process.
So this is something you like to see.
I don't mind seeing it, yeah, because I'm like, okay, they were actually thinking about the user experience. Molly the cat.
Molly the cat. Icon library. Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, I think creating a portfolio on Behance is its own art form. Like there's designers who are really good at that and ones that aren't as good. Who is this? This person, Kelsey?
Yeah.
You're great at displaying your work, so I think it looks really good. The only comment I would say would be these thumbnails. It's very difficult to see what the designs are that's represented there because they're so small in terms of like you're putting everything into a device in the thumbnails. Oh, sorry, on the screen behind.
Oh, here.
Yeah, your cover image. It's pretty hard to see because it's all I just look at it and see kind of all devices. So I think background floods and things like that can help brighten this page up a lot.
Okay.
And closer shots of some of the work would be nice too. It's clear that you know what you're doing with the design work though. It looks nice.
Okay, maybe something about food. You know, like that can compare with OpenTable, Yelp. Like there are a lot of references, so it's interesting to see.
Like that nice
something.
background as part of that thumbnail would be really cool. I think it would help brighten your portfolio page up a bit.
Concept design. It was an Adobe Live challenge too. Wow, it looks very
This
pro.
looks great, yeah.
I like this style guide.
Very contemporary, clean look.
Yeah,
Making good use of those background colors and
and
floods.
search. So something you can do, I'm sure you're aware of it, Kelsey, is that you can record a video of your prototype and embed it on Behance. You can also, this is what she's doing now, embedding the interactive prototype, so I can directly test it.
That's so cool.
So one advice that I give for all of you that I've realized is that it's so cool and innovative that a lot of people, like let's say they want to hire a designer, they will discover your portfolio and you will say interactive prototype, but then they will think it's a picture.
And they won't even try to interact.
So on the first screen, I would really encourage you to add something, maybe a layer with an arrow and say, hey, try my prototype, click here, you know?
Yeah.
And as soon as they will start saying, oh, crap, like this is working for real, you know? And then you did something with the keyboard. I mean, it's a full prototype. You did really a good job. So if I want to book a table, show me the way. I mean, it looks very good.
Very polished.
Yeah.
It's great.
And then embedding the streams where I guess your app has been featured. I mean, this is great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, which advice would you give to Kelsey, like beyond the great work?
Beyond that front page, I mean, I think it's really good work. You're doing all the things right that I'm not doing right on my portfolio right now on Behance. So nice work, very good.
Yeah, I would just add a paragraph, to introduce yourself. It's also a good opportunity to set the tone, to know more about yourself and what you want to do in the future. Are you a freelancer? Are you free to take contracts? All these information are very important.
Yeah.
If you are looking for just visibility, then okay, why not? But if you are looking for some business, then it's important to tell the visitors that you're open to business.
Yeah, for sure.
And how to contact you. So there is your email, which is great. So Anne, so Anne, she won the Moo gift card. So now you can have a professional business card, which is great. So Anne, same. I would add a paragraph to introduce yourself. Focus more on graphic design, illustration, and digital art. Okay, so I guess Anne is also a designer, maybe who wants to transition from graphic design to interactive design or screen design, which is great.
Yeah.
So I see some techniques that you usually see like in Photoshop, like double exposure, playing a bit with it. Creative challenge. Yeah, you
have a lot of work on there.
A lot of work, yeah.
I would say actually, as for a portfolio, more is not always better.
Okay. I
would much rather see, rather than 30 pieces from a designer, I'd rather see the top 8 or the top 6.
Yeah.
And I think limiting it to an amount of kind of your best work make sure that I'm actually clicking on your best work. Because there's probably elements in here with such a big portfolio that you're not as proud of. You're kind of like, well, these projects some of these don't really look at that, that's old, whatever. If it's not something you're super proud of, I wouldn't put it on, not to say you're not of all 30, but I think as someone looking for designers, like a creative director, you have to browse through a lot of portfolios. So being able to see the best work up front, at least above the fold, will definitely help put your best foot forward.
Yeah, I would like to ask the Behance team what are the analytics, but I'm pretty sure that these people, when they visit the portfolio, they click on 1, 2, maybe 3 projects, and usually in the 2 first rows, if not the 3 first ones. So be very careful about this. So you participated in the XD Daily Creative Challenge, which is a motivational program where we send a daily prompt every day.
Yeah.
Which is great because it shows also like to people who hire designers that you are committed to sharpen your skills, try something new. So out of work, so I think it's great. Okay, showing all the screens. And so this time it's a video. So this is also something you can do in XD. It's just when you have an interactive prototype, you just press record and it creates a video that you can share. And I like it because it shows the cursor.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, you did a good job here. Fixed elements. Yeah. Scrolling, fixed elements. Cool. Yeah, so you master all the interactions. Very good. Wow, pop up. Yeah. Very nice. Overlay. That's nice. That's a nice mock-up. Tell me app. Okay, it's ready for the App Store. Yeah, ready to market it.
Great. Also show, as much as you can. I know that was a challenge, so you didn't do wireframing and stuff. But if you can show your work, I think that's always a bonus.
Okay.
The only other thing I would
even a sketch on paper.
Even a sketch on paper sometimes can look really appealing. The only other thing I would say here is it's sometimes, especially starting out, it's kind of important to choose your focus. So if I go here, I'm not sure if I know you do graphic design, you do illustration, you do web design and UI. It looks like, but if it's really good to have your portfolio kind of geared towards one or the other, right? To say, okay, I'm focusing on UI, so my pieces are here. Otherwise, if I'm going there and I want to hire you for that, I have to sort through your whole portfolio to find your 4 different UI projects. And I'll be looking at illustrations and stuff that I don't necessarily want to see. So
it's a very good point. Like a portfolio is not an archive of all your work.
That's exactly, I think that's a really great way to say it. It's not an archive of your work. That can be done at other places.
And it's great also like to ask yourself, okay, what do I want to do in the future? Like if this is UI UX design, then remove the illustration work or the graphic design work. You can speak about yourself and say, oh, this is my background, but now my focus is UX and UI. And so,
I would say gear your portfolio to the work that you want to do.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the work that you've done, I guess.
And you can test several things. So something that also Behance users don't know is that you can actually reorder and say, oh, you know what, this week, like for 1 week, I will try this and see if I have more success, maybe featuring this work, and maybe this one I will just unpublish it. And publish another one.
Do some A/B testing of your portfolio.
Like week after week, try something new. What kind of contacts and also feedback you get, and remember to build a network on Behance to really follow other people, leave comments, leave appreciations, and the more you are active, the more you will get visibility. So awesome. Thanks for sharing your portfolios. Thanks for the feedback, Josh.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we can quickly come back to your prototype and show some before and after, So
Yeah, let's do it.
Recap the entire process.
Okay, so let's go through the whole, no, we won't go through the whole thing. Let me close some of these down that we don't need. Oh, I didn't get to put any gears in yet, sad. Okay, so this is what we started with. This is our Classhero app. This was our login screen before. This was our login, oh, nope, those are animals. This was our login screen after. Quite a bit different. One is a little bit very pixelated. The colors and the imagery don't really
Different
jive
styles.
well. Oh, there's Castle. This one, I think we've tried to create a lot more of a cohesive language the kids will get familiar with right away. What does a button look like? What's the color scheme?
A clear call to action.
Yeah, a clear call to action. The idea of this being kind of this medieval times type thing. This was the login screen that we had, which was entering your PIN up here, logging with Clever here. These buttons were visible here. We kind of streamlined and improved all that. Now the kid clicks on school login. They immediately get put here where they can just punch that class PIN in. If it's correct, they just get dumped directly into the home screen of their app. So really clean, clear path to how they got there, right? And then this was our home screen that we were in the middle of working on. We did not quite get there all the way done, but we made a lot of progress. And this is what we had before, which was choosing your lessons.
Two screens actually.
What's that? I merged. You're right. I merged this screen and this screen together.
Yeah, the rewards.
So we had this kind of bedroom illustration that was a bit distracting to kids because they didn't know what they could and could not click on, which is important. Kind of depth of field in kids' games. They will assume they can click on things because even at 5 years old, they've been trained that interactive books and pictures, you should always be able to find little Easter eggs throughout, right? I still have random things open. So this one, it puts the focus much more on the content, right? So these are placeholders still. There would be a real image there of that lesson, numbers or shapes or whatever. And then we have the lessons that have been completed, and below that we have our little, I'm gonna change that because it's bothering me. 6 lessons completed. Nice. And then we have our back button to get out of here and our character Drago. How much time do we have? Do we have enough time to keep going a little bit?
No, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. Well, we won't make a 3D card then. So I'll save that for another time.
I guess you will keep working on Classhero, so maybe we can have you back,
I will definitely keep working on Classhero, and I would love to come back.
Yeah, and then we can catch up and do another design audit.
Yeah.
Because you have so many screens in this experience. I mean,
there are, and it's just going to
keep growing. We could invite you every week, and keep going. But thank you so much for sharing first like a professional process on a real use case, like a real life use case. This is your company now, like you're really invested into it. So thanks for sharing all your doubts on the design, how to improve everything. And I really think it's an awesome project for kids. And it really shows the value of design and the type of decisions you need to make when designing for a specific audience, which are kids in this case.
Yeah, it's a new one for me. So it's been really fun to talk through it and get people's suggestions. And I think that's helped me work through a new project too. So it's been great.
Oh, cool.
Really fun.
This is awesome. And thanks for everyone for watching, for all your input during the 3 days. We really had a great time. So that's it for tomorrow. We'll be back with a short live show tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time with the XD team, actually, with Talin, who is the lead designer of Adobe XD. He will be here as every week to answer all your questions. And we'll be back next week for another Adobe Live shows with guest, host, and it won't be about UX design next week. Let me quickly check because I have a topic in mind, but it's a graphic design one, yes, graphic design. So with Christine Arth, she will be back. If you know Christine, but this time she will be designing, she won't be hosting. So it will start on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time as every week. There is a schedule tab so you can check it. And UX will be back, Raphael, not in 2 weeks, but in 3 weeks, because we'll be live from New York. We celebrate a new initiative by Adobe, which is the World Interactive Design Day, which is a worldwide initiative where we invite all designers and to speak about a topic in the community. And the topic will be diversity and inclusion in design.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it will be in about 2 or 3 weeks on Adobe Live. It will be a first, so we're super excited. Thanks again, Josh.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, and see you soon on Adobe Live.
Bye.